We ready, Rakesh? Thumbs up. All right, we're ready. Here we go.
I need to spit out my gum.
Oh, this guy. Wah, wah.
What?
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Totally Not a Podcast. I'm your host, Joshua Gonzalez, and this is...
This guy.
All right, we're not doing that kind of stuff. Today is a big day. Let's just say that, because we have with us our first ever guest, Constanza. Let's do that again. All right. We have our first ever guest in the room with us, Constanza Herrero.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. And so we've never done this before. So we're having a long form discussion about music and art and being a young artist, especially in LA. Or maybe there are people that move to New York or the cities to pursue arts when they're young, like we have, and the struggle that's behind that. And maybe to give some encouragement to people and just kind of to talk about the choice that it is to pursue art. So Constanza, we worked together on a music video. That's how we kind of met. And she's a very talented musician with your albums on Spotify. So you made albums and you're working on a new one, right? So just kind of, if you want to start with like how that happened, or what kind of, when was the decision, I guess? When was the decision that you decided I'm going to pursue music?
Yeah. Well, hi guys. Thanks for having me. That's like a big question. And well, let me start. I don't have a specific memory where I decided to pursue music. This is gonna sound so cheesy, but I felt like music chose me, and
Nice. I like it.
Okay, good.
No,
I was like, I don't know.
No, that's how it feels.
Yeah. So since very little, like I have videos of me, just dancing around my house and just expressing myself through music, whether that is through dancing or singing. And so, my mom really supported me. My mom and dad, just like being involved in choir and all this performing arts activities in my school, taking dance lessons and things like that. But it wasn't until my dad passed away when I was 8 that really music became my refuge. I started later on writing songs, and my passion for music just started growing so much more from there. And so when I was in my early teens, writing my songs, I really sort of had this big feeling that I want to do it for the rest of my life, though I didn't know at all what that implies. I didn't know how hard it is. I didn't know anything about the music industry, and you just have your references, like the artists that you listen to, and you think, oh, this is great. I just want to do music and travel around the world performing. And I was writing songs, and I decided to release an independent EP when I was 14, 15. But it basically only started just like, I just want to record the songs for my family and friends. Like I was only 14. So I was like,
but that's
I didn't expect anything to happen.
But to have the will to do something like that at a young age, those are like signs already that there's something more. It's more than just a hobby. Like if you're 14 and you want to record something like that. That's...
but I was scared. Like I wasn't, I didn't know whether, I didn't know what I was going to do with that album. I just wanted to record the songs that, but I did, I wasn't, I had ambition though. Like I did the good one. Like I did believe in myself, and at that age, I told my mom, like, I really want to study music. As soon as I finish high school, I want to grow in all these areas and take it seriously. But I grew up in a very conservative country. So, and like, you are just pushed to study traditional careers. So,
which country? What?
Chile.
Yeah.
Sorry. I grew up in Chile. That's a big thing.
Yeah.
So, my mom wasn't really sure, like, oh, I don't know about this. Anyway, but that started to become really big in my life, having this dream to pursue music professionally. But then I was surprised with this invitation to be part of a pop band in my country. That was already sort of famous. They won an MTV award, and they were looking for another vocalist, and I auditioned, having been very skeptical about it because it was like a pop band, and I was like, oh, that's not kind of my style. I was more like a different scene. And but God surprises you, you know, things that you used to sort of judge or having an opinion about it ended up being such a great opportunity for me. And so I auditioned for that, and I don't know how I got in. It was very hard, a very long audition process. And so I ended up being part of this band that for me was sort of a school, learning about the music industry. We recorded 2 albums. We had videos on MTV, and we were part of big festivals. We toured, and I was also part of a TV series that was broadcast by Nickelodeon. And so I was doing all these things, and it was really, really cool. So that sort of was such a blessing for me to learn from all the work behind of what you see, not only in music, but all the acting things that I was learning. It got to a point where I was finishing high school, and I was sort of achieving these things. But I really had this eagerness to grow as an artist and as a person. You know, as a teenager, you're sort of searching for your identity everywhere. And being part of a band also was different because it's not my own music. It was part of a project. We had producers, managers, songwriters. I was able to write songs for the band as well, and to write songs for that TV series at that time. And that was amazing. I'm very grateful for that opportunity. But I was sort of very, I was very anxious, and I really wanted to take another step. And so I left everything behind. Literally, I left my country and I moved to Australia. And there I continue to pursue music. I auditioned for this performing arts academy, which is super prestigious in Western Australia, called WAPA, so the Western Australian Academy of Performing Arts. And before my Bachelor of Music, I did a start in music theater because I was very curious about music theater because I love acting, dancing, and singing. So I was like, oh, it would be amazing. And they have one of the best music theater programs. So I auditioned for that, and thank God I got in, and that was an amazing experience. Though after finishing it, I was like, I don't know whether I see myself full time doing music theater. And I missed so much the creative side of writing and finding my voice as well, because you totally go to a different area of your voice as well in music theater. And so then I moved into a Bachelor of Music, got closer to my faith, and then that brought me closer to my identity and who I am. So that was so important, because that has dictated my steps towards today. And and so after I finished, I started working on new original music, and I put up that EP that's out there. I co-produced that EP between Australia and Los Angeles. So I came here to record, and that was like my first approach, working here with musicians here. And that's where I got encouraged to move here by musicians. They were like, you should apply for this visa. And I was like, yeah, I've always wanted to go to LA, but I didn't know really what was going to happen. But I took that step of faith, and I'm here. Never thought that I would move just a couple months before COVID happened. So I had all these plans, but that's for another question. But yeah, and now I'm currently recording new music, and I can't wait to put it out there. Sorry, that was a long.
Yeah, no, that's
it could be,
that's like
I try to be
the scope
concise, but
Judah's been awfully quiet.
What?
Yeah.
What? We're
Judah,
both
what's
listening.
happening?
I'm curious what Judah's thinking right now.
How many instruments do you play?
I accompany myself with guitar and piano. Yeah.
Okay.
So what? Because I feel like Judah, Jeremiah, my brother, like as we're starting out and like even in music, right? So with albums, and I'm just curious, like share a little bit maybe with you, like share a little bit about your musical process and like with albums, like because that's what I'm curious in, like to make an album, right? Especially when you don't have you're not signed on with a label. Right. And it's independently produced and created. Like, I know for you personally, like that's been, you're still working on that. So I don't know, like, I'm kind of interested in that discussion a little bit, and maybe for people in that place or, I don't know.
Well, how do you like monetize your art as a musician, you know?
It's hard. That's like so hard. Teaching has become like my biggest income. I used to do a lot of performances back in Australia, literally like every weekend or more. I was very blessed to have a lot of gigs that helped me to pay for my music stuff. It's so hard. I mean, guys, like even in the filming industry, like you earn this money and then you invest it in your own art, but
it's true.
It's so worth it. And so work. No, I worked. And that's why it takes longer. Like I wish things would go faster, but you have to wait till you have the right budget. And
how long do you think like people, because there's like I'm very ambitious, and so the goals that I have, right, they're like sometimes it's like, can I actually accomplish this? So as like even in music, right, when you have a certain goal, like to be like a famous artist and like people know your name, and do you think people should start off with a mentality like that, or when somebody's young and deciding to become a musician or they want to pursue that as a career, should the expectation just more be about the art and like focusing, or do you think that it's important to keep that ambition? I don't know if that question is leading. But
I mean, ambition is a good thing. If you don't have your full heart on it, then it's gonna be really hard to be motivated each day. But when your purpose is only about fame, then it's going to be so easy to give up.
Mm-hmm.
So I think like
That's a
the
good point.
biggest advice I can share through experience is just to really ask yourself why you're doing what you're doing. Because if you just want to be famous, do something else. Like it's so easy to be famous if you really want to. Like,
Go on
just do something
TikTok.
stupid and put it out there.
Yeah.
But searching for a real purpose behind and see how you can serve others with your art, then that's gonna keep you doing it. And because you will face times where you want to give up, but when it's not ultimately about yourself, then you're always gonna have a reason why not to, because people there need you, like not need you, but they need to be encouraged. They need to know that they're not alone. There's so much hopelessness, and so your art is always going to be needed. And so I think that that is a much more meaningful purpose behind your art. That's what I try to remind myself every time I want to just give up.
Yeah.
Because life ultimately is not about ourselves anyway. So we have these gifts to give them back to others. So to use them to bless others. So I don't know. I think that has kept me doing this, and I'm very grateful to know that. To know that truth.
Yeah, I like that. Like when an artist becomes self-serving, and it becomes about them or their image, then that's when you usually see like a decline. Like when they start, all right, we could take Al Pacino. Al Pacino is the best actor alive, potentially, right? But there was a point where he started, when he was playing a role, he was only playing Al Pacino. So like he's still, I like those films, but like there are examples of artists that once they start thinking only about their own glory, not saying he was doing that, but there's a temptation to think of art as like a way to just make people like think you're amazing, but that's not actually going to create good art. So it's like I don't know, there's like a circular thing there.
Well, as an artist, you need to utilize your resources, right? And a lot of people, when they have like access to all this stuff, then their art declines because they can use whatever they want. So they don't have to be as creative, I would say. They're like, oh, I have all this stuff, and so it doesn't force you to be creative. That's a big thing too.
And also there's so much more release and freedom when it's not about you. Like
true,
it's just like, and you start to enjoy your job more because it's not about what you can get out of it. It's like seeing people being encouraged. And I try to think about that when I use social media, for example, because when you start comparing yourself with others, and it's just so hard. And there has been so much freedom in my life when I started to just think about others when I post, not about myself, how many likes I'm gonna get or how many comments, but to long for meaningful caption as something that is going to speak to others, and hopefully receive comments of being encouraged by it. And that's sort of my prayer every day. It's hard though. Cool. It's hard. It's hard because our human nature just want to receive the praise, right? Like we like that. We like to be
that's the beauty, like the best works of art, like the Sistine Chapel, right? Like something like that. Just it's like bringing glory to God, or like bringing glory to something bigger than us. And that's the best kind of art. So, but that's the hardest kind too, because I think we get in the way of ourselves, especially as artists, because we can be kind of eccentric sometimes. So, and
especially when you're like, I mean, you can be an artist and work in different areas, but like as a songwriter, when you put out music with your name and it's your face, it's like, oh, it's nerve-wracking. It's like whatever feedback I receive, it feels like it's just, straight to me. So I can take it so personal. But I mean, that's why you have to start by, being very, to look for your identity every day, to remind yourself who you are, and that your success does not define you, that your fan base, your followers does not define you. And so that is something that I have to remind myself every day.
Like when I was growing up, especially in high school, because when I was in middle school, like all I thought was like, I'm going to be Steven Spielberg. Like that's all I thought, Yeah. And I was just like crazy. But once you get into high school, you're like, oh, the world's complicated. Reality. So there's like a moment where people would say things and they'd get to me, like, of course. How hard it is. Like, nobody gets to direct a movie. Like, that's like, many people want to do that.
Yeah.
And look how many fail, right? Like you hear that all the time. And people around you. So we were kind of talking about that in the car. Like if you don't want to take advice sometimes from the wrong people because like somebody who hasn't made it. Yeah. Especially if they tried, they may be bitter about it and tell you, oh yeah, no, like many people try that. But sometimes that advice isn't going to be helpful. So,
How do you choose the right support system as an artist? Because you have a lot of people.
That's hard.
It's just hard because you don't choose who you just happen to have a conversation with. So it's like, it's more like, listening and then, try to be wise whether, like, there's always some truth in some advices, but it depends where it comes from. You never know what, that person has experienced. So I think the first thing is just don't take anything too personal. I mean, I have received so many advices, and some of them just apply to some people. I don't know. I've been trying to chill a little bit. It's like, okay, great. Thank you for saying that. I mean, I'm grateful though for all the people that have been like super tough with me. And at the end of the day, you just take everything, and I don't know.
Do you feel like you've heard that a lot though? Like people compare, like that was one thing I just heard a lot. Like, do you know how many people, and it gets to you, you think that's true. Like how many thousands of people.
What makes you different from everybody else?
I don't know. Like,
it's like when I moved here, it's like, so what is it about you that girl doesn't have? She also plays the guitar. She also sings, and she sings better than you. It's like, so, but that, it's like the wrong question. You just have to be yourself. And whatever, God gave you gifts, and you are so uniquely made. And when you start trying to be someone else is where things just get.
We're all kings.
That's a saying. I don't
know about that, but what I say, like, it just, be humble with advices and stuff. Just like say thank you and think about them though. But I totally get like the frustration when you get those comments, and it's like, okay, thank you. But some have really pushed me. It's like asking yourself though, what is different? Like, what is it that you have that they don't have? And that's a good question. So it's just, that's a good question. And it pushes you to become more than like you knowing already who you are. It's like, how do I make my art so clear that I can show through my music who I am right now? Because sometimes, sorry if that doesn't make sense, but sometimes I'm so clear of who I am, but it's so hard to express that, you know. And so we have to be clear, like, how do we display that identity or your authenticity on social media, the way you look, the way you sing, the colors you choose on your brand, your sound, everything. And that's fun. It's like, okay, it makes all that process.
And that kind of thinking prevents you from getting caught up in cliches, right? Because I think that's usually what a cliche is. It's like a default, so someone doesn't have to open up and be themselves.
Yes.
So I think like that's kind of a way to prevent that.
Yeah.
To genuine emotion things.
And you will draw an authentic audience to you, because when you are authentic and honest, then everything will be so much more so much more easier and just natural when you are just yourself. So anyway.
That was some good stuff.
That was good.
Like superficiality, that's the biggest struggle with. I mean, look at, like, you know, it goes both ways, but there are films that they have like a message, right? But it's the actual story and the characters lose out because somebody's saying they're trying to make a political or even religious message, but the art suddenly, and then you lose the humanity of the characters in the story. And music's the same way, I think, that there's this balance that we have to have the truth, but the truth needs to be like genuine in what we're in our art. And it's like very abstract conflict, but it's like really there. I think if you would go back, would you change anything? That's what they always say. No.
For sure.
Okay, I think the biggest mistakes I've made have been being too afraid to make them. So I think the anxiety of not succeeding and therefore not doing things and not taking steps of faith to do it because I'm too afraid to fail. And so I believe I'm right where I'm meant to be, though. But I wish I could have had more courage to do things. And this is the thing that I speak to myself right now. Like, I'm making so many decisions today, and there's so many things that I'm having just sitting in the corner because I'm too afraid to do. And I think just wrestling with the fact that who you are right now, it's right. It's like, it's what you need right now. And not wait to be a better singer, to be a better songwriter, to have this amount of followers in order to put music out or in order to do this. Like, that is just a huge mistake that I keep making sometimes when I choose, to wait in order to be at this level that I want to be. But you can always be better.
Right. Of course.
But we only have today. We don't know what's going to happen. And I think going back to why I'm doing music, it's totally the opposite of that mindset. It's sort of being vulnerable, be who you are right now, and you're not perfect and you'll never be. So why wasting your time trying to trying to wait for that perfection that doesn't exist? Of course, we strive to be better every day, and it's good to grow as an artist. And that's the thing that it just happens every day, and we should look forward to that, like, each day. But don't wait too long. And I feel like that's something that I'm like, oh, I should have. Right. But anyway,
it's not the things you did.
It's the things you decided not to do because of your anxiety.
Because the mistakes themselves, if you made a mistake, you may have learned something very valuable.
Yeah.
And even if you could go back in time, you would still, it was still valuable.
Yeah.
But the things you don't do, there's always the question, what if I did?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It makes sense. No decision is always the wrong decision.
Yeah.
That's what George Lucas.
I mean,
says that.
and if
Georgie.
whoever you guys admire, like if you read their life, if you read about their lives and their experiences, I mean, they had to fail so many times. So yeah, don't be afraid to make mistakes. It's part of it.
It's a good one.
It's just part of it.
Failing is a part of succeeding.
Yeah.
Expect
And
to
also
fail, plan to
redefine
succeed.
what success means to you, because that's another question, you know?
Yeah, it's
What is
true.
success,
What is
man?
success to you?
Failing, bro.
That was the first.
Yeah. Failing.
Failing.
That's the message of today. Go fail.
Go and
Go.
fail.
You all are losers. No. Okay.
No.
But yeah, that's a good question too, because otherwise.
Yeah, you have to expect to fail because you can't learn anything unless you fail.
But yeah, the
Makes
question of what is success as an artist? Is it being the best of the best?
Yeah, is it fame?
Which we can
What
get
is it?
caught up in.
Each person has their own definition. But for me, it's like, I really want to look back to my life and see that I created art, not compromising my values and
Nice.
just being true to myself.
Yeah,
And
I get that.
And of course, I just want to make a living with music and art.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. But most importantly, what I said, just being able to make a living with an art that it's true to myself. You know?
Nice.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
That's for me
Makes sense.
Yeah.
success.
We should
And
all
so
answer it.
I
Exactly.
still like, and it's not something that has to happen a couple of years or before I die. You know, it's
Yeah.
like, it's like today I am choosing to be true to myself and be vulnerable and love others and through my music. And that is cool.
That's
Yeah.
a powerful point.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. Because you never know if you have tomorrow. And so
Yeah.
to always have success in what you don't have, then that's going to always, you're going to lose out on.
Yeah.
And that's actually something I like that. Like I could apply that to myself probably because there is that feeling like my view of success is in some ways superficial because it pushes me to do more. But at the same time, it can be a negative thing because I'm putting so much pressure on myself in this view. And it's like, and I thought about this like a year ago before COVID, a little more than a year, like there were still a lot of things in my life I wasn't happy about.
Yeah.
And now I'm looking at my life and there are things I'm not happy about, but I'll be like, oh man, if only I was back then. But it's like, if I just remind myself, how did I feel when we had more freedom and, you know, all these things weren't going on, we were just as likely we felt the same way we do now. So I like that point. Like, I think that's very applicable. So we can like avoid that superficial definition. So, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Now it's your turn. You answer.
What was the question again?
How do
just
you
made it broader.
define success? How do you define
That was the first question I was asked in an interview for just a normal job when I was like 16, 17. I was like, money? I didn't know I didn't know like what the right answer was. I don't know, like it's similar to what you're saying where like you'll never reach success if like you think you're not successful now in a certain way, you know?
Yeah.
Like so you have to be like, I guess you have to have self-love, I guess, for yourself. And if you don't have that, then like it doesn't matter how much money or fame you're going to get. If you're not true to yourself, as you're saying, it's you're never going to be happy and you're never going to feel successful. So I would say for me, success is like I'm enjoying what I'm doing and I'm saying the things I want to say and I'm not compromising for, you know, a brand or you know, that's what. And so, you know, I do music too. So lately, it's like I don't want to just record just to record or just to like get things out there. Like, you know, for me, like I have to have some sort of emotional tie-in to what I'm singing or what I'm writing, or it won't come out good. I have to feel it. And so I'm not going to just like make music just to make music,
Yeah.
That's how I feel. And so that's what I've always struggled with as an artist, is like balancing that out,
Yeah.
Because then eventually you'll get an audience and people expect you to release stuff. And then you're like, should I just sell out for my audience or because I owe them music, but like I'm kind of blocked right now, so struggling with that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And it's also hard to walk through life and try to stay firm with that conviction of how you just define success, because you're always going to have that person telling you, so why you don't have this amount of followers, or like why you're not in American Idol, or like, and you're like, they don't see you, they see you as a failure because you're not there.
Exactly.
Wow.
And it's hard because it's so easy to believe that. It's like, I am not like a real artist because I'm not there. It's so easy to believe those lies. So it's like, how do we become firm each day in your convictions? It's like it's a daily battle.
It is. Every day we have to treat like, we have to treat the time accordingly. Like time is precious. Time is valuable. And every day we have to like choose who we're going to be. Like we have to make a choice. If we want to be an artist, if we want to stay true to our values, things like that, every day is a new choice. Like it doesn't matter what happened yesterday or what you want to do tomorrow. Like every day we have to make that choice, and it's a hard choice to make. But that is how it feels. Like especially as a creative person, you have to go, today I'm waking up and I'm going to choose to continue to be a director or a musician or an actor. And just that alone, if you do it every day, then you've already found that, I think. That's kind of what we're getting at.
Yeah.
And you have to stick to it, because a lot of people, they give up. Like you were saying earlier, how people are like, oh, everybody wants to do this kind of thing. So what makes you special? And it's like, I'm going to stay persistent with it. This is what I want to do. I'm not going to just give up because whatever I got heart once, or, something didn't work out the way I wanted it to. Like, you take things as a learning experience. That's what successful people do. Is they take their failures as a learning experience instead of a reason to give up.
It takes a lot of humility. Like you have to be humble in order to, walk in life and not allowing all these distractions to get you out of the way. Going back to what we talked about before, it's like, it's not about you. It's just not about.
It's not about you.
It's not about you.
No, I like.
But the world tells us all about you.
Especially here.
It's such a poignant message.
You are God, and
really, it's true. You can define this.
Because that's what we want to hear. That's what we want to hear. It's like
we'd all be lost if we were God or King. Like just
everything would suck.
We would be lost.
It all.
The reality.
is, look at our war right now.
That's a good point.
It's pretty bad.
If we were all just gods and we would be lost because we're our own worst enemy in a way.
The absolute power corrupts.
Absolutely.
So.
No, it's good. I think we have.
We're good?
Yeah, I think we have some good stuff here. So thanks so much.
Thank you guys for having me.
We're going to do this again.
We better do it.
Yeah, for sure. But like, share, and subscribe.
Do you have anything you want to plug?
Oh, yeah, that's true. They always do that, the plug. Like, you can drop the Instagram or the album.
Do you want to say to say it?
Oh, yeah, you can look into the camera.
I mean, if you guys didn't write the thing.
Yeah,
we'll
look
even
into
if
the
I say my name, it's like, okay.
No, we will. We'll
question marks.
You'll be like, wait. So you can find me everywhere in all social media platforms and music platforms as Constanza Herrero. Yeah, follow me.
Follow her.
Me.
But
I look forward to share new music with all of you. So, yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Nice.
This was
See
good.
you there.
Woo!
All right, we did.
All right, that's it.
Yay,
Thanks.
First guest.
Thanks.
Awesome.
You guys.
Yeah, thanks.
Come on.
Totally, totally, totally not a podcast. Totally.